This is John Paul Rye. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. Want to cover Piers Morgan and what he said about the UK trial between Johnny Depp and the Sun at the time. I don't know how I missed it. I thought I hit like literally every article I could find, but apparently I missed it. Now, Piers Morgan, I honestly don't know a whole lot about. I started covering him just this week, and I found out from reading comments on my channel especially that there's mixed feelings. Some people just hate him, some people just love him. So I gotta tell you guys, right now, I'm somewhat neutral. I just want to follow the facts. I don't like the tweet he made about Johnny Depp, how he said Johnny Depp was a dickhead, but I think he's kind of like a shock personality. He doesn't really, take sides so much. He kind of throws out controversial statements and trolls fan bases and things like that. So I'm not sure how sincere that was. But the point is, I'm still forming my opinion on him. But I think it's important to take a look at, the stuff that's out there in the media. Piers' verdict. Piers Morgan says Johnny Depp came over appalling in court and praises the Sun for legal victory, which obviously I don't like at all. But what I'm saying is, how sincere is that? You know what I mean? If you make a statement like that, the people who are on Johnny's side, which is like the large fucking majority, are going to get stirred up. They're all going to read it. They're all going to comment. It's going to build algorithm, and there you go. Your advertising money goes up, and I think that's his true motive. That's my opinion as a creator, as somebody who watches numbers and advertising and traction every day. But I'm not making an excuse. It's still kind of a shitty thing to do. Because as we know, the case was, rigged. It wasn't fair. So to put out a statement on a big platform against someone who didn't have a fair trial is, pretty shitty. So I can't say with Piers Morgan I'm starting from a great place. I'm just saying I want to know more about him and why some people really like him before I make a full decision. But obviously, with this Johnny case, he's starting with one foot in the mud. Alright, so this is from the article. It's pretty old, quite a few months old, somewhere in 2020. He spoke on This Morning Today as the news broke that Depp, 57, lost his libel case against the Sun newspaper over an article that called him a wife beater. The Hollywood star sued the paper after it claimed he assaulted his ex-wife Amber Heard, which he denies. Not only denies, it's so fucking simplified, which he has mountains and months and years of evidence to prove, but they just say he denies it. But alright, that's what we're dealing with here with the media. London's High Court ruled today that the Sun was right to brand the Pirates of the Caribbean actor a wife beater for his brutal attacks on Miss Heard when he passed out in the hotel room on the floor and didn't touch her. Or the time he slammed his hand on the counter and walked away. That stuff was brutal. Very hard to watch. Sarcasm, just gotta say it. Once in a while, someone misses it. Former newspaper editor Morgan said, "It's very damaging for his career. I thought the whole case was very damaging for both of them. I thought it was a horrible mess, the case. It looked to me like a very abusive relationship with lots of mutually abusive stuff going on. Lots of substances being taken, alcohol abuse, physical abuse, from one to the other with absolutely no evidence that Johnny abused Amber physically, with a lot of evidence that Amber abused Johnny physically, but I guess it's just this mutual back and forth in the imaginary world of Piers Morgan." Imagine we lived in the world where the media made a statement, but they had to disclose full evidence that was against that statement. So you can make this statement, but you've got to list, at least as a footnote or at the end of the article, the evidence that contradicts you. That would be a good way to fight misinformation. We got to keep the freedom of speech to say what we want to say, but once certain facts have already come out, maybe some kind of fact check at the end would be good. And I mean a strict fact check, not an opinionated fact check like someone else thinks this, like actual court documents, links to video, things like that. Just an idea. It's obviously a slippery slope with freedom of speech and information, and I'm trying to study up on it, and there's arguments on both sides, and the arguments to limit certain information aren't as horrible as I thought, but the bottom line is, it would be good if there was some kind of correction after the fact, perhaps. Anyway, I digress, going too deep into that, maybe for another time. You gotta give credit to the paper. The defendant themselves have fought very effectively. They fought really effectively by making sure the judge was a colleague and a friend of Amber Heard's lawyers and associates. That's real effective. And the other effective way they fought was probably with M-O-N-E-Y. That is effective. What else do we got here? And here at least he does put down Amber. So, okay, at least. I mean, some of them don't even do that. But you know, Johnny Depp, he came over appalling in that court case. I don't think she came over much better. And now, he's not only lost the case, he's lost a lot of money, but more importantly, he's lost his reputation. He's lost his reputation with people on the top who have to, in some cases, distance themselves. They have no choice because you can't prove to the general public in one shot the case was rigged, so the assumption is the legal judgment was in the son's favor. And in Hollywood, we know what they're like. They are moral hypocrites, but they will, I suspect, take a very dim view of now Johnny Depp now being effectively, in the court of public opinion, a wife beater. Wrong! Public opinion is on Johnny's side. The legalities and the corporations and company aren't. Very important distinction. But, you know, Piers Morgan says some good things that I've been saying for years, that Hollywood is full of hypocrites. So he'll say a really shitty thing about Johnny, but then he'll say something that I've been advocating for a long time, so it puts me in an awkward spot with the guy. I agree with like half the stuff he says, and I disagree and dislike half the stuff he says. And that's what he wants. You know why? Because now it gets you watching, you're riled up, you're thinking about him. That's the point. That's why I think he's not totally genuine. That's why I think he's probably just saying things to stir people up. And I guess it kind of worked on me. Look, I'm stirred up. Well, he said some shitty things. Alright, now let me take a look at a comment I got. And this comment also kind of signifies how I was starting to feel about Morgan the more I learn about him. So, here's the comment from Linda Douglas, and thank you for the support. Shout out to you, I suppose. She says, shitty or not, that is his style. I can't stand him or his style, but I like him standing up to woke cancel culture. Like I just said, he calls out Hollywood. I appreciate that too, but I can't stand his points of view on Johnny. These people are inciting hate culture and are the worst kind of bullies. They call you a racist even if you aren't. I think she meant, even though you aren't. And then she goes to say that you shouldn't apologize to the woke mob or cancel culture, which is a different rabbit hole. We're not going down that rabbit hole, but the point is, she's right. He does say things that stand up against cancel culture and wokeism, basically. So, that I appreciate, and that's part of what I do here. That's why I think the stuff he says about Johnny, it's just for his own attention grabbing, his own algorithm, people to think about him, and I'm not sure exactly how genuine he's being. Having said that, yeah, he says some shitty things, and he can't be forgiven. You guys, let me know what you think down below. As I see more and hear more from him, I guess my opinion will be changing. It's just kind of flexible right now. I'm just kind of figuring it all out. By the way, I might read more comments like this in videos. I know you guys are dropping great comments, and it's at the point where I just can't answer every single one. I think I can heart every single one, but I usually can't answer every single one, so maybe if I use them once in a while, that'll be really cool to see. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. I'm doing Meghan Markle, Depp vs. Heard, Marilyn Manson a little bit these days, pop culture. If you don't subscribe, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.